Ever been frustrated by having a fantastic week of ball striking on the range, then in a competition, it seems to desert you? There's a number of reasons for that, and there are some things that we can do to help alleviate that and enable you to transfer your practice efforts into a competitive situation on the golf course. Hi, my name's Peter Knight. I created this channel, Peter Knight Golf, to help you play your best golf ever. And if you hit the subscribe button and also the grey bell-shaped notification icon, you're not going to miss any of the videos that I'm sending out to you. It's so frustrating. You've spent a great week practicing. You stand on that first tee on the Saturday morning or the Sunday morning or whatever competition day you have, maybe midweek, or maybe it's a multi-round event. And all that good practice effort seems to have deserted you. There's a number of things that we can do. First of all, the realization that when you're practicing, you're in a controlled environment to a large extent. Sure, you've got some balls in front of you and you have to make the swing yourself, and you're making a golf swing like you're going to make on the golf course, but it's also quite different because you've got a lot of balls. You find when you're practicing that you can hit 5 or 10 shots, and then all of a sudden you start to find your rhythm. And then after those 5 or 10 shots, you might have a good run of hitting shots, you're striking the ball well, they're going pretty much where you want them to go, and maybe then it deserts you again. So it's like finding the rhythm and losing the rhythm. You need golf balls to be able to get a feel for your swing. Now, when you're relying so heavily on rhythm, that's not going to transfer to the golf course, because on the course naturally enough, you've only got one shot. Not only that, but on the golf course, you're going to feel different. We feel a little bit different every day. That's just us as humans and almost being a human chemical factory with our just a hormonal system and all the rest of it. So we do feel different every day. If we have a golf technique that's sound enough to be able to hold up under those, under those changeable conditions, whether that's our bodies or whether it's a different one shot with one club, changing lies, changing weather patterns, changing course conditions, we need to have something to rely on. The best way to build in that ability is to think of your practice as being more like one ball practice. So you hit a shot, you're totally focused on it, and then you do something else. You're building variety into your practice. So if you're building variety into your practice, you can change the club you're using, you can change the target that you're hitting to, you can change shot shape, you can change swing length, you can change swing speed. And actually by going through those variables, you become far more aware of what your best intentions or your best inclination is. You'll find a better rhythm by experimenting around the boundaries of that rhythm. You'll find better alignment by constantly challenging yourself with alignment. So it's making practice tougher, but it's also taking that approach of like one ball practice. So build variety into your practice where you can. The other thing is to create some competitive element in your practice. Now that might be to set up, say on a green behind me, either some putting drills where you're hitting a certain number of putts and you've got an expectation that you're going to hole however many from a certain distance. Or it could be maybe setting up a ring of tees around a hole and hitting little chip shots or pitch shots or bunker shots to that particular target. And again, recording the number of shots that you can have finishing inside your target area. And you can vary the size of the target area depending on your skill level and also depending on your progress. Make it tougher for you as you go along. And you'll find that that's going to affect your stress levels a little bit because it's pushing you. But again, it's making it much, much more like what you would do on the golf course. So when you're practicing, build in as much variety as you can, because that's going to challenge your rhythm. It's going to challenge your adaptability to playing one shot and calibrating the changes that you need to alter for, lie, club, target, and the other things I mentioned before. The other thing is building in the competitive element. Even better if you're competing against someone else. So if you've got someone that you enjoy practicing with, and particularly if you're a fairly closely aligned as far as skill level goes, practice hitting shots to target. Have nearest the pin competitions, have shot shaping competitions, have short game competitions, chipping, putting, pitching, bunker shots, all those sorts of things. Yes, it's tougher, but again, we're looking for something that's going to transfer to the golf course. Hitting a pile of balls in a controlled environment, one after the other, where you can find your rhythm after a number of shots, is not transferable. So build in the competitive element, the variety element, and you will see a much greater transfer to the golf course, even if you don't think that that transfer is occurring in the time that you're actually practicing.